Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Go Mode podcast for our Week 6 matchup in the 2026 Mentor Tournament between Kate Sith 2 and RJ Kinger 83. I am Arya Stark 2942, joined on comms tonight by Josh the Canuck. Whiskey Bill 25 is tracking, and Lumaga is doing the restream. Josh, how are you tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. Looking forward to this race. How are you doing tonight, are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I played a pretty silly cross key seed earlier, and now I'm ready for some very fun standard action here in week 6 between a couple runners who are 2 and 3. So there's some stakes for the winner in terms of potential placement in the tempered bracket, depending on tiebreakers. But overall, I figured this should be a pretty close race and pretty solid.
Yeah, both being 2 and 3. I heard 3 and 3 is probably a good place to be, depending on the tiebreakers. That's actually where I've ended up myself through the tournament. So, kind of looking forward to seeing how everything goes.
Yeah, that was me 4 years ago too, and had a ton of fun. And as we mentioned, this is standard mode, so we're going to go through the escape sequence. Our uncle here is going to give us one of a handful of various items to make our way through. As a player, did you have any particular item that you were hoping for, or maybe on the flip side, hoping against seeing here?
I mean, sword is actually kind of boring. Hammer's actually kind of fun. Cane of Berna is always kind of a bit of a challenge. Trying to manage your magic usage while getting the kills you need.
Yeah, we did see Hammer here is our weapon for escape. Also, very free Moon Pearl, so that's 2 of 3 items for Dark World access before we even get into the escape sequence in the castle itself.
Yeah, I've definitely seen quite a few Agassiz coming through the last couple weeks with the standard runs.
Yep, the race that Bill and I ran together last night was very much an Agassiz, and you never know. Like, sometimes the game will play with your head here, give you glimpses of head into Dark World early, and then it still winds up cursed and silly.
Yeah, I know my week 6 race, we had Mirror sitting on Lumberjack, so we knew within like the 10th minute that, yeah, okay, we're in Agassi because we're almost guaranteed to need the mirror.
Yeah, so the one thing here we do see in this escape sequence, no boots, obviously, Nadaka's boot seed. So both players are going to try to kill some enemies and see if they can drum up a bomb or two for the back of escape, because the last thing you really want to do is leave those 3 items in the back and have to consider coming back. But or you can just get free bombs, whatever. This game's easy.
That's what the commentators not cursed, I guess.
It's the blessing. The blessing. But yeah, free bombs, hammer, Moon Pearl, plus blue mail. So I mean, this is an escape that really doesn't have a lot of downside. We did see RJ Kinger opt for a pot and then a hammer. Kate Sith is going to go for the more safe route with a couple of pots. I would say that, again, with blue mail, the ball and chain's only going to do half a heart of damage rather than 1. It only takes 2 hammer hits. It is, at that point, fairly safe to get in there. Even if you take a hit from the ball and chain, you're going to get rid of them faster than it's going to take to backtrack for those pots. But it is obviously like kind of ingrained when you're starting off to like, let's play the safe route, let's not die and escape. And so that's pretty reasonable.
I've died in escape, and it's definitely cost me a race. So
yeah, it's never fun. And again, this is the Mentor tournament. Everybody starts somewhere, and if the safe strat is what makes you feel more comfortable, that's what you go with, and then you learn and improve as you go along. And it takes a while to like understand all of the various permutations and situations in which you might be in a precarious health situation, or you might have a little more safety than you realize.
Yeah, that's actually the great thing about the mentor tournament is you kind of have that person in your ear while you're running for your first 6 weeks, to kind of let you know that yeah, things are okay, things are kind of sketchy, and oh dear God, please don't die.
Yeah, it's always fun. I remember my memories of playing with the mentor in my ear, and it's not easy. It's most definitely not easy to be playing and listening and trying to think of various options.
All right, so we're in the dungeons now. We do get the pseudo lamp for our escape.
Yeah, Kate Sith was able to drum up a extra bomb off of one of the rats. At this point, especially with Hammer, the hitbox is a little wonky, no boots. You know, I'm probably not really worried about trying to glom up any extra bombs here. You got the 3-pack. That's going to be good enough for the back of escape, and at the very least, the well and Blind's Hut in Kakariko.
And there's so many checks in just in those places that you're gonna find at least one more bomb pack.
And they have enough money to buy bombs now, too. Let's see if that bomb from the rat on RJ Kinger's side stayed, and it did, so that's pretty nice.
The map showing up underground does mean we do have the sanctuary check to open.
Yep, that's good awareness. Making sure, you know, again, especially in standard start, when you get those items, bomb escape can be a challenge, as you mentioned. Burna, sometimes your focus is on execution and you kind of lose track of the items. But it's a good thing we opened Sank because it's flippers.
Yeah, no need to be a fake anymore. We just kind of dive in.
We are seeing on RJ Kinger's side an early lumberjack check. What is your policy generally on when you check lumberjack?
I'll pretty much always check it just coming right out of sanctuary. It's an easy route into the forest for the 2 checks there, and we do get the bug drops and the tree pull on the way as well.
Yeah, that's a very fair point. There's like multiple views on lumberjack check, especially without boots. I did not actually see what was on.
It's the bug net.
Oh, darn, Mr. Chu. Gamma Chu blessed us with the raid, and the seed has blessed us with never getting the fillet. Yeah, it's tough because it is a bit of a walk up to the lumberjack tree. You are able to get tree poles and potentially check the bush crab from the bottom. But there is also the security of knowing that, hey, if there is an item on lumberjack, that's huge knowledge. We see a glove at the mushroom spot and a bottle at the thief drop down, so that makes Kakariko even more lucrative here for both players.
Okay, RJ is going back for the second tree pull. Kate says just a little bit early with the hammer to take out the bird.
Yeah, both players taking a little bit of a risk-averse route around those guards. The green guards out there are only going to do half a heart of damage, and there really isn't anything that's going to happen here in Kakariko in a non-enemizer seed that could kill you. So that's another situation. Once you get more comfortable, you realize that, hey, worst case scenario, I get nicked by one of those guards, I lose half a heart. It's pretty fine.
Well, there's our first sword.
Yeah, first sword and the powder. So that's yet another check that we're going to be able to do in Kakariko here.
Also one step closer to Ega.
You know, it's Surely wouldn't be an Aga seed, no. I mean, we have full Dark World access now, though, with the glove, so hopefully we're not going to be seeing Aga, unless this is standard AD and I just didn't get the memo.
No, yeah, we should be fine. We should be fine avoiding Ega this time.
See, both players into the well, basically been in lockstep. Again, there's really not going to be terribly much divergence, and nice early boots here in the well, and the lamp, so there are actually a lot of options here.
Lamp with the glove does open Dark or Mountain.
And $100 gets you Samaria. Katesit's setting up some spin speed there off the steps. Very good game knowledge.
Yeah. If I was RJ Kinger, I'd have my mentor in my ear. You have boots. Why are you walking? There we go.
Yeah, Squishy Panda noting in chat, and we see the mirror in the back of the tavern. Jeez Louise, this early game, that's a lot of mountain stuff. There are honestly almost too many options at the moment here. And the hook shot from Sick Kid, dear goodness. Is this ludicrous?
Holy.
Is this ludicrous speed?
It's funny because yeah, I just actually heard about the ludicrous speed run not too long ago. It was something that came up just idle chit chat.
It's kind of wild to see a seed so heavily front loaded like this. And there are a lot of options because you've got like Sphere 1, South Shore in Mini Moldorm Cave. You've got Dark World checks. You've got the potential to beat Thieves Town and Swamp Palace. There's mountain stuff that you could consider trying to greed with the mitts. So yeah, there is a lot of options. And we see Green Pendant Eastern and the other Light World dungeons are regular crystals.
I was wondering when we were going to get that map check with how heavy loaded the seed's been. That's going to be good information to know where to go next.
So with all of these options sitting in front of you, would there be any that you would particularly find interesting at the moment?
So yeah, I would probably do what Kate's doing right now. Like I do like checking the library and the race game. From there, though, I'd probably actually do what RJ's doing and just kind of doing the quick dip into Dark World. Kind of check where my crystals are, where my pendants are, and kind of map a plan out.
Yeah, there are so many options right now that it's hard to say that any are like amazingly better or worse than others. We have a Pendant Pod Buyer, 5/6s at Thieves and Skullwoods. Kate said backtracked for this extra heart here on Race Game.
Nothing wrong with going back and grabbing that extra heart. It's a nice little bit of comfort.
Yeah, I would say this is another one, and it kind of ties in more to like if you get used to it playing like entrance modes. If you're going to eventually be going into Dark World from the CAC portal and go down to Dig Game, you can mirror there and then do Race Game if you really want that heart later. It saves a little bit of time on the backtracking here. So Katesit's going to play for some density in Hype Cave. They also still have Mini Moldorm Cave and potential dive into Swamp Palace. And there's a second sword in Hype Cave.
Master Sword means we're not worried. We don't have to worry about finding another one. We can.
You'd certainly love one though.
You will never hear me complain about getting a tempered sword upgrade from a Master Sword.
I don't think you'll ever hear any players, even the top players who might claim otherwise. I don't think that they're declining it either. So yeah, some pretty significant divergence here. We have RJ Kinger going into Thieves Town, which is very beatable. We have Kate Sith gonna check out the dam first, and then probably take that into Swamp. I think my lean would have been fairly similar to Kate Sith's here. I might have been a little bit inclined to check out Mini Moldorm Cave into Swamp, but I can also see the opposite direction of doing those checks after Swamp Palace if you feel comfortable. And with Blue Mail with Master Sword and a good amount of health, like this has been a pretty healthy seed here. Swamp Palace is not nearly as dangerous as it could feel most times 15 minutes into the seed.
Yeah, 15-minute Swamp Dip is, I don't know if I've ever done it. I mean, we have Hook Shot, we have Samaria, we can skip what we want to skip in here.
Yeah, RJ's in a little bit of a health spot here in Thieves Town. Down to 2 hearts. Does have powder if you want to powder that anti-fairy.
Kate getting Specky Clip.
And that's good knowledge on Kate Sith's side. If you're going to go left side, go north there to the door in the top left. RJ only found 1 item in the front. That was a shield. Has found 20 bucks in the attic in Thieves. And we see the powder coming out. And that could be the mentor in the ear situation of like, let's just be healthy as we go downstairs.
Now, Kate mirrored after opening the water.
Wonder if that's an accidental mirror? Thieves Town has still not yielded anything. 1 item left.
Nothing from Thieves Town except the 5-6 pendant or crystal.
Get the OK Boomerang here on left side Swamp. And 50 bucks. So even with this front-loaded seed here, left side Swamp was really never going to get skipped.
No, yeah, not with 2 items hiding in there.
We have RJ into the blind fight. Off script a little bit, but oh, they didn't give him that hit, but that's okay. Still in pretty good spot. That's a good use of Samaria. It might be a little too low. But it's got enough health to brute force the end, and blind is down.
And we have our crystal. Rapper Undern gave us a compass.
Yeah, the overworld's had basically all the stuff thus far, but still a long way to go here.
That was a very handy full magic drop for Kate.
Just trying to get the inputs right here for the diver down. Well done.
Go.
But yeah, Swamp's really kind of been begging here too, so
RJ going back to check race game.
yeah, Dig Game did not seem to have anything. Kate Sith is into the Argus fight. Setting up Master Sword spins here. Oh, the mitts are just hanging in K45.
Once again, the overworld provides where the dungeons aren't.
It really has. I mean, theoretically, we are not really that far from go mode 21 minutes into this seed. Definitely need both rods, a bow for the climb, more so than Eastern and Pod, and a medallion for TR. That could potentially be it.
Well, yeah, because we have the gloves now that we can get into desert. We just
Oh, right. We do need a way into
We do.
desert. That is such a good
Yeah,
point.
so
Excellent point.
you need either the flute or the book.
Oh, one of those is much nicer. Oh, Kate's. Oh, I must have missed it. Did Argus drop the big key?
Yeah, we're running back for a big
Tremendous. Love it. Yeah, I think this play for RJ right now makes great sense. I very much like not backtracking for the Smiths and doing mid stuff there. You have the ability to clear another crystal dungeon, can lead into Mini Moldorm Cave, and then you have the entirety of the mountain now, save for Turtle Rock.
All right.
Gamachu asked, did we find Filet? We did, Gamma. It is on Lumberjack. It's exciting, right? I know, I'm excited. It is called the Filet because of French.
Because French is probably the easiest explanation for a lot of things.
Mini Moldorm Cave was a bust. It's kind of like the first overworld bust we've had this entire game.
I wonder if Kate is going to farm those rupees there to get up to 500.
With the amount of stuff that they have, even without the mitts, I would kind of be loath to do so. I would like to do what Kate's doing here, and it just looks like he's gonna try to set up a double water walk, maybe, and do the guy under the bridge into the Zora area, or just water walk in and out.
I like Hylia was a bust, so just some bombs in there.
Yeah, because the tough thing about trying to grind in the 20 rupee caves is that's 4 trips. That's 4 times in and out. Nice bow on the guy under the bridge, though. And you have pretty easy access to the Zora area if you need to go back and do it. It could also get cobbled in with the catfish check if you make that later, but I think the big thing here is if you wind up leaving Zora, all right. I mean, you're gonna leave things in a seed, but this seed has set up for a really jetty start, and we know where the mitts are, which make it an even jettier start. The more that you try to chase down individual checks in full clear, the quicker that the game can sometimes slip away from you. So Zora Ledge is a bust. Kate is coming back out. I don't know. Yeah, there's really nowhere. Unfortunately, there's really nowhere vital to go here after this Zora check. So save and quit. Probably Mountain here, and you could see Mountain for both players very soon.
Yeah, Mountain is fully open. We can even get into Dark World Mountain. Well, RJ can.
RJ is going to go back in. I don't think RJ did left side, correct? He still has a small key, so my guess is no.
Yeah, it looks like he's missing 3 checks still. So yeah, he's gonna. So he skipped left side, just went right back to the boss, which not a bad idea if you don't get the big key early, because it gives you more of a reason to duck back in.
Yeah, that's fair. And this is one of those seeds, like these are the kind of jetty seeds that are a little bit scary, especially once you've been playing a little bit more, because so much has been right in the player's pads thus far that it kind of does feel a little bit like, oh boy, every single time I double back on something, am I just like letting a little extra time slip that I don't have to? And we know obviously that RJ's not going to get anything on left side swamp that's going to move the needle. But 3 items is also very alluring, right? Because he only came away with half the dungeon's items. So it's a tricky spot, and a lot of times it's a gut call versus a math call.
I mean, we're looking at RJ, like it's just a loadout. I mean, the only other thing really that's going to give you like your high density is your Mountain right now. So
Yeah, he's got Mountain, but also he has the flipper checks, and in the flipper checks, Kate Sith pulled Bombos, which for RJ would give him Ice Palace. He obviously does not know that yet, but
and we have desert access with the book.
Oh, good. Yeah, this is a scary seed. This is a very scary seed.
Yeah, it's not really pointing us in like a direction. It's like it's just kind of dropping everything on the plate and saying go.
Yeah, and that's That's kind of what I was alluding to like these kind of things do feel scary because the more that you find directly in the path, every single time you find something there, you're like, oh geez, I spent time doing stuff that wasn't just moving to the next thing. And not every seed is anywhere close to that. And we have a crystal turtle rock, so the ice rod could still be anywhere. As front loaded as this seed has been, the ice rod could still be in the worst possible places.
I mean, no one at all is ever hoping that Ice Rod's on head.
No, certainly not. Not in the year of 2026, at least. We've moved beyond that. We've moved to a fetch quest sequence that starts on Ped. To answer Gamma's question in chat, both players are 2 and 3. The winner will have it looks like a pretty strong chance of making it into the tempered bracket at 3 and 3. So up on the mountain, we also did see Quake from Saving Gary. Now this is an interesting situation here on RJ's side. With RJ's layout, would you be comfortable in going into ice at this point?
Have bomb, so we can. I don't think I'd like it. It would be a tough run.
It's a challenging fight for sure. I do know that they have at least something in one of their bottles, but Master Sword, Hammer, Just Bombos, it can be a prolonged fight that can go sideways. So I think right now holding off is reasonable. Obviously, Kate Sith did not have that choice. RJ does, so I will be very interested to see if he does opt to make this play.
Drew's just noting that we have a fairy in RJ's bottle.
Yeah, I think this play, again, it comes down to comfort, and I know, speaking from experience, that like 4 years ago, that fight would still make me uneasy, even with blue mail, even with safety backups. I would probably try it, but I would certainly feel a bit uneasy about it. Tracker Whiskey Bill saying that it is Kate Sith who has a fairy, but now RJ does too.
Thank you, Whiskey Bill. Keeping us honest.
Yep. Hera down for Kate Sith. Yeah, both players. RJ realizing, 49 rupees short of Zora. Opting to save and quit. So this is probably going to be a mountain play for RJ2. Which definitely makes sense. That's your greatest volume. It was very nice that he was also able to pick up that bow on the guy under the bridge. Oh, we're going to get a King's Tomb check too. That's good heads up.
This is a play from Kate.
Yeah, I like this. This is like Spike Cave is really easy to orphan. And you have the save and quit point up on the mountain. You can get potentially sucked into Turtle Rock here and get... Oh, wait, no, actually Kate can't. That's right. I mean, for Kate, this makes actually way more sense because he does not have the mitts, so he can't even do the rest of the mountain. So that's a great end point.
Good knowledge knowing that having the fairy with no protection still gets you through. You have enough hearts.
So Kate Sith is going to take this book to desert. Makes sense. This is yet another clearable crystal. Backtracking here.
We're gonna go through portal so we can check the tablet.
That makes sense. I mean, it will really be great for them if they also hop into K45 here. But yeah, the Bombos tablet into desert makes a lot of sense. Those mids are in a pretty awkward spot for Kate Sith right now, because they do keep picking up things that are going to push them away into other stuff. Because right now we have both Pod and Eastern with the Saha check that neither player has done. Those are a lot of items in that one area. That looks a lot better than K45.
Just some money.
Did they do Stumpy? No. RJ has done Stumpy. Kate Sith has not. They went into Dark World at Link's house, went to Hype Cave into Swamp Palace. RJ started in the Village of Outcasts and worked his way down. Yes, excellent point in chat that Kate Sith not being in Village of Outcasts is probably going to help him.
It's a shame the bits are where they are, because you're not going to be able to do a good Smith chain while you're running south of the village.
Yeah, right now, they don't know it, but honestly, if they were to walk across the medallion somewhere, rod somewhere, being Mid's Dark World access is pretty. Mid's go mode is actually pretty darn good in this kind of a seed. It's unlikely.
RJ having a couple issues with the Hera pot there. It just looks like he's gonna do the climb.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if the setup was a little off or if he accidentally picked up a drop. But we do see Ether in the big chest of desert, so that's all 3 medallions. So it won't be a medallion hunt at the very least.
Kate is gonna go pick up the last mail upgrade.
Yeah, it's free. Why not grab it? Anything that really gives you peace of mind, especially if it's easy to grab, always take it.
In getting the hammer hits in.
Oh, there we go. Nice. So Kate Sith heading into a Landmo fight here that unfortunately is not the greatest in the world.
Going to be a lot of spinning.
Yeah, getting the hammer out, hammer hitbox is a bit janky, but hammer's going to do a strong amount of damage to the Landmos. Bow land bow time? Well, bow will do damage too, but it's a touch more precise. But well done. And nice flute on Lanmo.
Of course, you know, the other item we would have needed to get the desert, right?
Of course. That's going to make traversing the world even easier. And, I mean, that's pretty much just going to suck Cait Sith directly to Village of Outcast, even if that was not where he was headed. We have the Mushroom and Spiral. Oh, I guess Cait did get sucked into, like, that toss-up play of you beat Hera and you're left with Spike Cave and Spiral Cave.
Yeah, Gina, just useless again.
So I'm sure that chat's super excited that that flute puts a pedestal on the table. Both of our rods could technically be on ped.
Interesting. So RJ's going to go into Dark Mountain from the south area.
Yeah, especially with what he has. A little bit surprised that maybe wasn't pushed to attempt that bomb jump and open Turtle Rock here without mirroring.
That one thing that my mentor taught me coming out of Super Bunny Cave there. When you come out the door, you hang right, hug that wall. And as soon as you touch that wall, you can just dash right out the door. It'll kind of just swing you through.
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 methods, I think, and that's the same one I use. It's like a little gentle right. Oh, nice shovel and hookshot cave for RJ. So we have seen both players issue checking out Skullwoods here. So that's well, it's between 0 and 2 items that are being left there. We have Graveyard Ledge that's still sitting out there. We have the entirety of the Pod Eastern area.
Was that Ether that was Turtle Rock?
I believe it was Ether. So RJ will get that when he heads out to Desert. And Desert is probably the next play after checks the tablet here. Maybe does Spike Cave.
I could get lucky. If we teleport back to the Dark World, there is a potential for a fairy.
Yep, all those cardinal direction bushes stand a chance of dropping health. But I'm going to opt against it. I don't hate this. Like, it is now Spike Cave is a check that's very much left behind, but they have an avenue for another clearable crystal here. And they're gonna clean up this shovel first. The shovel is garbage.
Because we definitely needed money at this point.
They're hurting. I mean, RJ's chasing hard in the money department. Gotta start making things up somehow. So,
Not
Kate's, it
checking
was...
the...
no, apologies. Go for it.
Oops, sorry, I was just saying RJ's not checking the tablet.
Yeah, that could very easily just be an oversight. It's pretty simple, unfortunately, to lose sight of something like that when you're beelining toward desert. And again, still, like, RJ still has the mitts advantage, still has significantly more options than Kate does right now.
I don't know if I've ever seen someone dash back through that switch room.
The one in which you hit the blocks? Or you hit the switch on your way to the attic?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a way to actually do that with a quick stair lag cancel into just walking down without getting hit. But if you stair lag cancel and do like a dash turn, you'll pretty much be on time for dashing past those spikes. There's that ether for RJ. Gonna head to the back now. We got Kate going into the blind fight. On script through phase 1. Little loose here in phase 2, but still has blind in fine spot and has ample health.
I never saw it coming.
He never does. It's weird. RJ also picking up that red mail again. It's free. I'd grab it. But, I mean, Kate's going to be picking up the mitts very shortly. Well, somewhat shortly. How about that? Somewhat shortly. Gonna head north first to clean up this. Well, for them, it's actually 2 checks. We did see King's Tomb on RJ's side with the mitts. So, Graveyard Ledge, King's Tomb. There's a little more volume here. This Graveyard Ledge check for RJ is very orphaned, so this is one that could pay out pretty well for Kate because RJ has a lot of dungeon density that's going to be sitting out here and a lot of mobility coming up with the flute on Landmo. But Graveyard Ledge, just another piece of heart.
No real advantage on the Landmo fight. Still Master Sword spins.
Yeah, I would like getting another weapon out. Again, either the hammer, the bow again is challenging. You know, that's an NMG style fight. But if you want some additional cheap damage, you can throw a Samaria block out there and let the Landmos do some passive damage for you. It's anything so that's not exclusively trying to spin. But that fight is done. Bombs too. Well, bombs are fun. Bombs are fun and funny, though. Right. Kate checks out Bumper Ledge. It's just more money that we are not actually going to get this time. Now they are going to dive the front of Skullwoods, which makes sense. If you make the choice to come up here, you're kind of committing yourself to check everything that you can.
I don't hate this play at all.
So RJ is almost certainly going to follow Kate's lead, activate the flute here. Ice Palace right now, though, is really looking like a pretty clear-cut option. It is the only clearable crystal that is available to the players that we have not yet seen. Everything else is pendant dungeons. And I think you want to try to get your crystal stuff, mandatory stuff done first before you start playing the pick a pendant game. Did not actually see if Katesith pulled. Did he pull both items from Skull?
Yeah, it does look like they both items got pulled. Yeah.
You know, that's honestly best case scenario right there. He's probably hoping that he got progression, but getting in and out of there really quickly and only having to come back later to clean up the boss is ideal here in getting them on track to pick up the mitts, which will now happen shortly. And at this point, we're really not that far off between these two. Very different routes, but they've gotten us to pretty similar spots. A tough thing for Kate Sith is that the East Dark Death Mountain checks, Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave now really don't look so great. You would have loved to have been able to pair them together the way that RJ did. But those mitts open ice, and we are going to see Kate Sith join RJ here in Ice Palace.
RJ getting his icebreaker. Couple attempts, yeah. But right got through.
Yeah, very well done.
Almost pulled the tongue in the statue there, just muscle memory.
It's like the reverse muscle memory of what you tend to get after playing for a while. We get so accustomed to Icebreaker, and it's like, oh yeah, I gotta pull the tongue this time. Oops. Kitsa trying to use the bomb strats here on the penguins.
Not terrible. Got 5 out of 6.
Yeah, one thing we did not see from either player is that they do have the hook shot, so if you do need to clean up, or you're not confident or comfortable yet with the bomb strat, the hook shot will one-shot the penguins.
Okay, trying to get that one frame, 1 pixel buffer to the left there.
Good job. Alright, so it looks like the last item here in ice is going to be on Cold Stare.
the interesting item to see what drops.
Yeah, at this point, that is really not what you want. You really want the anti-fairy to be taking your magic there. RJ does have ample keys, so we can go into the refill room here.
You don't have any magic.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we were on the right track. Yeah, we're on the right track. Yeah, the unfortunate thing is you pretty much only need that first pot with the item layout that these players have, because they don't really have a way of quick killing Cold Stare or protecting themselves with a safety item. Or I guess you would need to get, but you'd be getting 2 pots here. So fire locking fire. I mean, it could happen. They wouldn't make a law if it wasn't accurate.
I would have liked to have seen RJ maybe pull out the hammer for this.
Yeah,
he
you
does
definitely
have 2 health pots behind him.
Yeah, you definitely want to get the hammer out. Again, this Cold Stare fight is tough, it's grimy, it takes time becoming comfortable with it and becoming comfortable using things other than, better weaponry than the players have right now. But Master Sword slashes do take a hot minute to kill these pups. So even if you're just using sword, trying to get spins in, but Cold Stare's down to half a heart. At least you didn't have to burn the fairy there. And $1! Great! So we see Kate Sith getting spins in here, trying to cluster these Cold Stare puffs together. We got a little unlucky with the ice from the ceiling bumping them into the puffs, but
They're so fluffy, you just want to hug them. Over and over and over again.
That's how you get frostbite, though. But yeah, that fight's done. Kate Sith made up a good amount of time there in Ice Palace. So the players are kind of, I don't know. To me, at least, it feels like you're funneled to the Pod Eastern Saha area. The density there is just off the charts compared to most of the other places.
Yeah, that's where I would be going personally right now.
Oh, I was wondering why RJ saved and quit, and that's because after Desert, they went straight to Ice without activating the flute.
I don't know if I like this climb by Kate again.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It is 6 checks, and you're going to be able to get into Turtle Rock. It's another situation too here, like if you're going into the Dark World, I would want to be going up in the Light World and open the TR portal. Because I think if you are coming up to the mountain, similar to like Kate checking out the front of Skull Woods, I think you're kind of priced into diving the front of Turtle Rock. You're kind of hoping at that point that you either spike a really funny fire rod or you get kicked out immediately. But if you don't open it and you have the intention of going in, you have to do an additional mirror transition, which will take a little bit of time. We are seeing Smith Chain here on RJ's side.
These are checks we haven't seen yet from either, so
Yeah, I would probably be, if I was in this position as a mentor, advising for the Pod Eastern play. It is very easy to think of like these checks have been available for a while. I eschewed doing them when I picked up the Mitts in K45, but it's only 3 checks. It's kind of slow. RJ is potentially running this to. Oh, this could be a Bombos. This could be a purple chest into Bombos tablet.
We were in CAC again to activate the flute, so that's not a terrible time to do it. Because at that point, I think if you don't do it, then you're almost orphaning them. Because the only thing pulling you back to that area is going to be Skull Woods when we get the fire rod.
I'd say that's a little bit accurate and a little bit in the situation when we have mitts and flute. It's fairly easy to get back to pretty much anywhere we want to go. So if we want to do Smith Chain after like the Eastern Pod area, then the option's still pretty quick, similar to fluting off to the Mire area and doing a check of those kind of things. It's 3 checks. It's not the fastest, not the slowest in the world, but they're not hard to get to anymore. And we kind of saw worst case scenario here for Kate, picking up a small key in the front of TR. Good knowledge, ethering that pokey and using the hammer. And yep, they are going to get kicked out at Chomps. RJ is going to check out Saha first here. Saha is empty.
Just a love for bombs.
I'm trying to think what we have not seen yet. Like, we haven't gotten into Eastern or Pod.
Are you doing a basement check in Hera?
I guess so. I actually did not remember if only 1 or 2 items were found there. That feels like a bit of a hole in the situation where I don't think that like either player has been routing to in a way that I would feel really bad about my route to try to like pull at one-offs when you have a huge area available in the Pod Eastern section.
I mean, if it's something though.
If it's something though, it's exceedingly good for Kate Sith because yeah, I don't know when RJ would be considering Hera Basement, but it's just $20. And that was a good heads up there. I'm thinking that was another mentor moment. RJ was about to head straight to Eastern and opted to go back to Flute 5 and go up to Pod, do Pod first, and then mirror into Eastern, depending on what we find here. So when you're in Spiral Cave and you're coming up again on the right side with the second blue bar, if it is lit up, you can start a dash, stop your dash, and then start it again, and you can dash through it, even if it's still electrified. It's a weird little fluke for that one section of Spiral Cave.
I was just either hook shot it bow it, deal with it.
Yes. Sometimes you're not lucky enough, and it's kind of fun and silly to just be able to dash through. We are getting the mushroom turn in. I don't think we saw RJ do this.
I don't think so either.
And more money, thank goodness, finally.
Money to buy potions. It's almost like a free sample.
RJ got one item and 2 small keys in the front and is headed to the back.
I believe that sounds right. Well,
The ice rod's there, and that is... Yeah, you'd much rather see ice rod there. Fire rod go mode way better than ice rod go mode. The tough part about going to the back immediately, though, is you don't... With the information they got, you don't know if this is a key for a key. Odds are it probably is going to be, but you also might be going to the back without the big key, and it was a key for a key. So of the other 3 things in the front, one of them is not a small key.
and Kate's over in the east now as well. Been a few times I've transitioned coming back from Saha and missed picking up the monkey just because I'm still invulnerable.
Oh yeah, that's very common. It takes a little bit of experience to get used to having to pause a couple seconds in the maze to make sure, okay, Kiki, let's go. I've got $110 with your name on it. So the tough thing for RJ here is the big key is the other item that has been left in the front, which would require a backtrack if they're going to check the big chest.
Yeah, and I think... Yeah, it looks like there's one more item there waiting for them.
Yeah, the tough part here is that last item in the big chest, or is the last item on the boss?
Okay. Kate's doing what I would have done and just gone right to the right side after.
Yeah, besides the security of having the big key, again, you get the full knowledge, because Pod in a non-keys mode is guaranteed to have at least 4 small keys in the front, and if you're going to the back having only seen 2 of them, you don't know whether it is going to be 4 or 5 in the front. Bill asking in chat, why would you not beat Helma if you're going to mirror? I don't know if they're going to beat Helma. I don't know that I would be committing to beating Pendant Helma here. Last item is there, but so here's the tough thing for the players. Fire Rod can literally be basically anywhere that we have access to at this point. It could be on Pyramid Ledge, it can be a Catfish, it could be on Zora, which neither player had enough money to see. It can be an Eastern, Green Pendant turn-in.
Sorry, Skullwoods is actually one of our 5/6s, so we actually can't be on Pyramid.
It can be on Pyramid Ledge.
Ledge, okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Pyramid Fairy's out, which is good. That's one less thing. Anything that we can do to knock out options, and we saw on Kate Sit's side that the front of Turtle Rock is also out, which is nice. I think in Eastern, you, at this point, you're probably incentivized to beat the dungeon. It's the green pendant, so you're getting 3+1, and quite honestly, it's not the worst thing in the world to do a pedestal check. Because odds are Fire Rod is not on Ped. It's in one of these few stray things. But if it is, then you know that you just need to go beat Vidi, and you unfortunately have to beat Helma. And that will save considerable time versus clearing out all of the stray one-offs.
I mean, this wasn't an Agaseed, so I mean, if it's not an Agaseed, it should at least be a Ped seed for us.
It's definitely been a play with your mind and expectations seed, because it was so jetty, and now it's dive all the pendants, try to find rods. But again, at least it's the better rod for go mode. Vanilla Big Key in Eastern. And we see Kate Sith also eschewed go into Helma. I think it's the right play. Like, it is one item, and heck, it could wind up being the Fire Rod, but it does take a hot minute to get there. It looked like it was another conversation there. RJ initially seemed like there was a potential for save and quit, but I believe that there's at least one item left here in Eastern, plus the green pendant.
Yeah, I believe Helma's holding something on us.
Right, so RJ's into the Armos Knights fight. Kate Sith is a handful of rooms behind, but not that far off. Just $50, but we do get the green pendant. Yeah, it looked like RJ initially did not actually want to go into that portal back to Dark World. You can use a bomb or Samaria to walk through the portal. So we're going to get the green pendant turn, and then it's going to be very interesting to see what option they choose if it's not Fire Rod, which it's not.
Oh, wrong red item.
Yeah. So you've got the Mire area. I think RJ. Let's see.
Oh.
My guess would be this is going to be Pyramid Ledge to Catfish to Zora.
Looks like you are very correct.
Yes, Squishy Panda noting in chat that they would rush pedestal. I would want that same certainty too.
Ooh.
It's $1 on Pyramid Ledge. So the options are really starting to run low here. Yep, and we are seeing on Kate's side, like, live thinking through decisions. Like, which bad option do we
Well, I
go
wonder if
with
this
here?
is our pet rush.
If you're gonna check Ped, we don't need to go into the dark world here.
True enough.
Trying to think about what Kate still has in this area.
Oh, she'll have Smith or those Smith chain because they got the gloves later.
Oh, that's correct, right. They wait, did he not? Oh yeah, he still has not done Smith chain. So that, I mean, that does make sense. What they have is gross. But I mean, I think this again like speaks to why the pedestal hedge makes sense, because it's not, it can just be a giant waste. But if Fire Rod is on pedestal, you don't have to touch any of this stuff. And we know that the Smith chain is a big bust, so Catfish also a bust.
Yeah, someone tried to go fishing with explosives, and he had none of it.
There's regulations against that. We're finally going to get the Zora check, because both players didn't have money the first time, and now they have more than enough money. That means better items. Huge.
That was absolutely worth the $500.
So our options at this point are down to item on Pendant Helma, Meyer Shed, Checkerboard, two things in Meyer, and Pedestal.
Don't know why we're checking. I mean, we have all three
That
medallions anyway.
That is 100% muscle memory. You know, Kate Sith is heading to the Meyer area too, so at this point, I kind of hope that if it is pedestal, we don't read it and we just blind pull it,
Blind pull, yeah.
because we're at the point where the last thing that's left could actually just be Helma and then pedestal. So you might as well. Checkerboard, also a bust. Independent Meyer. Oh, RJ is. Oh wait, are we doing it? Are we gonna check pedestal? Graveyard Ledge first.
Oh yeah, he does have Graveyard Ledge still. Oh.
No. Oh yeah, that's right. He also has the front of Skull. Maybe this will lead to pedestal, but Kate Sith is just going into Meyer, so I think Kate Sith's position is actually the better one at this point. Because we know that RJ is going to get both skull items here. It's going to be fairly fast, but that plus Graveyard Ledge are both dead checks that we already saw on Kate's side.
It matters if they decide to go to Ped.
I mean, in terms of routing, I don't think you actually would from here if you still have Graveyard Ledge open. Because going from Skull to Graveyard Ledge is much more convenient, and it's easy to get back to Pedestal via the flute off of the Graveyard Ledge check. RJ is kind of bouncing around a little bit here. I think he is actually looking to exit Skull.
I mean, I'm no saint when it comes to running around Skullwoods, if you'd seen my Week 5 race, but yeah, that's an interesting set of movement there.
Oh yeah, I can understand. Okay, so they wanted to reset the mirror point for getting out, which does make sense because they dropped down the hole. Dr. John asks, have we been to Pod? We have, and there's an item on Pendant Helma. We are down to we are down to whatever's left in Mire, Pendant Helma, and Pedestal. Where do we think Fire Rod? Well, Ken, it's in one of it's in one of like 3 or 4 spots.
Okay, I think RJ and the mentor there just had a quick discussion. He was about to leave, and then he doubled back through.
All right, well, we're finally gonna get our Pedestal check. Kate is on the way to Viddy here. It is not
Oh.
Pedestal.
Wow.
Oh boy. Pendant Helma or second item in Mire? Unless they got 2. I only saw 1.
Yeah, they still have 1.
Right, this Viddy fight is a little bit of a gross one too. Kate is also quite short on arrows.
Yeah, no cape, no Burna.
I don't think Kate Sith went to cutscene though, so unless I'm wrong.
I don't remember seeing them doing cutscene now.
Kate Sith does have a good amount of health. They can try to tank. Use the goo here in Mire to do a heart of damage and get in there for spins. Master Sword does take a little bit, but again, they have stuff in their bottle. This is a situation. Don't be afraid to use it. You're pulling out the bow here, trying to clean up some of these small eyes.
We needed 8 for the big eye.
Yeah, so they're still gonna have to use the sword or hammer to kill these guys. Like, again, you've got potions, you've got money. They might still have the fairy. I don't remember. They used a fairy in Spike Cave.
They have it looks like 2 reds, a blue, and a green.
Okay. They're on red mail, so it's not like they're an Oko. It's getting a little dicey here. If you do have a red, I would use the red over the blue right now because you have no utility for magic, so you might as well save the potion that has the magic. RJ is back up the mountain, gonna do Hera Basement, and fun small key on Vidi. And Kate Sith hasn't read Ped, so he was incentivized to beat Vitreous. But yeah, it's almost certain that Kate Sith's going to come back in here to Meyer, do left side. And then I really don't know if he's got anything else besides beating Helmasaur.
Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with Dr. Worm there. I probably would have cleared Myra before going back to Vidi.
I would agree with that. The Vidi fight is, in particular, not very fast here. And little game knowledge, and that, well, I think Sean is pointing that out to Kate. There's the pot right there that has the 5 arrows. So you're not totally devoid. Yeah, I agree with Doc. It's a pendant. They, haven't checked pedestal. So you don't know that you have to beat the boss, and you could just spike the second item here and be done.
RJ is going to the front of TR, which we also know there's nothing there.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised about backtracking to the mountain instead of going to the Meyer area. But we're going to see, is Fire Rod in cutscene chest? It sure is, and that is go mode for Kate Sith. Yeah, so Kate has to go clean up Skull Woods and then head to Turtle Rock. RJ still has a bit of stuff ahead of him before he picks up that Fire Rod. Even if he heads directly to the Meyer area, he's going to do Meyer Shed, going to do Checkerboard, and going to do all of the faster checks pretty much before cutscene.
So actually, he's actually done those.
Oh, has he done Meyer Shed and Checkerboard?
Yeah. When
right, he did the quick dip and then fluted it out. Good call. So okay, so it's a little bit less that he has, a little bit less ground that he's got to cover. So if you were in these players' shoes, how hard would you be fishing potentially for another sword here?
Be okay. I mean, I'm gonna do the checks on the way, but I'm not gonna go out of my way at this point.
It is a potential positive thing here in that, Turtle Rock, you're basically going to be checking most everything. Maybe not the big chest, but you'll have the option to, do Laser Bridge. It is fairly quickly to try to pull on an extra sword. Kate Sith has to be careful of the Wallmaster here, trying to kill the Gibdo. I know that he's trying to save magic for the Moth fight, but 16 hearts in red mail.
I wouldn't even be saving magic. I'd just be going, you have a green and a blue potion behind you, just launch it.
Yeah, you've got Hammer. Again, even if you're not ultra comfortable with the various permutations, this is a situation in which you have so much health that you can kind of brute force the fight, and it's still going to eventually work out.
Yeah, I would have already downed my green potion and just launched another 7, 8 fireballs at him.
Moth is down for Cait Sith. Got through it. Moth really wasn't playing friendly. Honestly, the spikes weren't playing friendly, but no. RJ's into Mire. Definitely chasing at the moment, but we'll see how swiftly he makes it to cutscene.
He should get there. There probably shouldn't be too bad because he does have the knowledge that pet is nothing, so they know they don't need to fight Viddy.
Well, they hope that they don't.
But they'll check everything before going to Viddy, just knowing that they don't. Well, I would think they would check everything, knowing that they don't need the pendant.
I would agree with that, absolutely. Yeah, make the worst and the slowest thing in the dungeon the last thing that you consider, if you can. But Cait Sith is back to the mountain, heading back to Turtle Rock. Gonna need to head to the fire rod locked side, which is gonna have at least one small key. We did see another small in the front, but ran into a roadblock in the Chomps room. I thought for a moment that RJ was just going to beeline it straight down. Checking these.
He's kind of a hole.
Yeah, like honestly, even if it wasn't, I think you want to do everything you can other than cutscene. You're going to be able to knock out several checks here faster than it'll take you to get to the cutscene item, but it would have worked out super great for him if he had just gone there. Yeah. Slightly precarious health situation here.
I think he actually still has a fairy in a bottle. I don't think he's super worried, but...
So given what RJ's pulled there, if you have the extra small key, you might as well just open the door in that spike room to head back out. Does get sniped by the shooter in the lobby, but yeah, does still have the fairy.
And yeah, Cait is just taking the key and running, so we're not checking lava.
Yep, pretty nice layout here. Nothing but keys in the front. And this is a situation where, yeah, gamble, skipping the big chest. Oh, never mind. The big key was not on the fire rod lock side. It was vanilla. I had not actually seen Cait Sith's pickups on the right side, but it's a little unfortunate, but easy enough to backtrack. These are one of those moments where, you know, you hope that your mentor is there just saying it's really not a big deal. Keep moving on. We backtrack for a few seconds, and then we're good. And there's the Fire Rod for RJ and Go Mode on his side. So he's got a little ground to make up, but...
I always imagine those pipes are not the easiest things to ride through.
They don't look like they would be super comfortable. I have to agree. Alright, so this time Kate is actually going to opt to check the big chest. I think it makes more sense because they did have to burn that small key getting to lava chest, but turns out they still could have skipped it. So we know we're getting a small key here in Crystal Roller, and one on Laser Bridge. Which is not the worst thing, because it incentivizes you further to check the rest of the checks on Laser Bridge.
Yeah, we might get this. We might get that missing sword. We could get our silvers.
Surprised they did not check Mimic Cave for a sword. That's probably not apt to happen. You do have a lot of density coming up in GT depending on how free the big key is. And Mimic Cave is going to take a bit. You spike a sword there, you feel like a genius, but most of the time in this spot you're probably just going to be burning time. Oh, that's a cute bunny sprite on RJ's side. Kate having a little bit of a tough time on Laser Bridge. Grabs the small key, is going to opt against the last chest.
I would have checked that last chest.
So gonna head into a Hammer and Master Sword Trinex fight here. RJ's finished Skull Woods.
Five hammer hits.
Nicely done. Gets the fire head out. The ice head did drop a little ice in the arena here, but the Firehead was killed so efficiently that Kate does still have a good amount of magic, even for Master Sword slashes. So into the last phase here. Aiming to get the hammer out, but got pinned a little bit by Trinex. Doing a good job keeping space, though. Should be one more. Yep. Well done.
Nice kill. Now, for some reason, I'm seeing numbers popping up in the chat.
People do like numbers.
Now that we've taken out TR here, we do have all the crystals. Which means we do have access to Ganon's Tower. And where is the big key going to be?
I'm just shocked we haven't seen 22 yet. You know, I think that's a lot of growth here on chat's.
I'm always a fan of 22. 22 just means we get more randomizer, and Who doesn't like more randomizer?
Honestly, if you're the players in this situation, 22 is sort of stressful, but it's actually not the worst thing in the world because your opponent's also going to last locate it, and it opens up more time, more checks to actually spike a sword or silvers or both. So these are the seeds where I actually wouldn't mind having a buried big key, but we see a small key in Hope, and Kate's gonna head left. Do you have a preferred route for playing Ganon's Tower?
Oh, magic, nice. I run the same route. I'll check. I'll do Hope Room, then I'll run full left.
42 is a good number. I would go with that. It may not be correct, but I would still go with it. Yeah, that half magic on the torch is super nice.
It will be very handy if we do not get any more weapon upgrades.
And there's silvers here in DM's room, so
We're not, what's it, 52 spins without it? 64.
yes, it's a 52 spins to win with Master Sword. Yeah, the main benefit of half magic right now is going to be on the climb. You can be really aggressive with your magic. You also have silvers. For the Ganon fight, obviously that half magic is going to mean less, given that we still have not seen either of the safety items.
RJ getting out. Also choosing to skip Mimic. That shield just looks...
The shield becomes the main sprite with the goose. You're then playing as Mirror Shield with a goose behind it.
Nice block to avoid the last teleport there. I like whiskey. That the shield took a Red Bull.
It's OP.
We got 3 checks left on the left side here.
Yeah, and those silvers are going to make this Armos fight super free and still leave you in good arrow position for the climb. Compass, yet another small key, and we are mirroring out to go right. Yeah, my preferred GT route is Hope, and if you get a small key, Hope to Compass. But honestly, as long as you're not bouncing back and forth, GT routing is largely user preference.
RK, RJ checking the last chested laser bridge, just some arrows.
Oh, little Samaria boot. Love it on Kate's side. We got the cape, which is super nice since we're still on Master Sword, but we're not anymore because we're on Tempered Sword. And there's the big key. Oh. 21.
Well, Whiskey's closest. But it wasn't quite 21, so You only win a half lifetime of free rando seeds.
I think that's still sufficient. RJ opting to kill the Ice Head first.
It's a little slower, but a little safer when you get to the final phase.
Yeah, has run out of magic here. Is going to have to burn a potion. Yeah, Squishy Panda noting in chat, if RJ opts to go Hope Right, he will spike that Tempered Sword and the big key. Did have to burn the other potion here while low on health on the Trinex fight.
It's a very painful hit when you get smacked with the head there. Good final phase with using the Master Sword there.
Yeah, very efficiently done. It might just been a situation where RJ's not ultra comfortable about killing the smaller heads with hammer right now, so that is going to take a little bit of extra time to kill both of them with sword the way he did, which does put you in a more precarious situation if things go a little awry. But the final phase was very sharp. Kate Sith here on Landmo 2. Landmo's not really playing super nice. Kind of got a little off balance at the outset trying to set up the Silver's kill.
There we go.
The Boots Silver's kill setup in GT is a little tighter and a little tougher than it is in Desert, but it can definitely be done. But once Landmo gets off timing for you, then it gets a little tough. And unfortunately, RJ is going to also mirror out of Hope Room.
Okay, shooting that Samaria block just a little early, missing the two lower ones.
Yeah, so we mentioned at the outset, like this is a matchup of two players who are 2 and 3, but have played a lot of close matches, as we've seen, very even in skill. And this is definitely a sweaty climb.
While we're climbing there, just a reminder to give a follow to our runners there who are giving us a fantastic show tonight. And also to our fantastic other commentator there, Arya Stark. And Whiskey Bill, who's kind of making us, keeping us on our toes and letting us know where we get things wrong with items.
Imagine getting things wrong.
Never.
I mean, occasionally, but just for fun. Yeah, well done on the Moldorm 2 fight for Kate Sith. One thing I have told my mentees is when spinning on Moldorm 2, especially if you're toward like the middle, top left of the arena, there is the possibility for a quadrant glitch. So if you are killing Moldorm or hitting Moldorm with spins, it's usually a safe thing to open validation chests afterwards, because if there happens to be a quadrant glitch, at the very least when you reclimb, the chest will still be there.
Ega 2 not really being friendly here.
He'd cool it on the blue balls, though, at least. So it was still a fairly efficient fight on Kate Sith's side. And now heading into a Ganon fight, Tempered, Half Magic, which, again, doesn't change too much. Oh, but no, they did pick up the cape, so that's actually very helpful. And Silver's still in great position.
RJ about to get the bad news that he needed to go right.
Right. Great position for spins here for Kate Sith. Doesn't actually need the cape in the corner. Trying to get capes on spins on the top. But you actually have a free spot in the top right corner to just get double spins. And with Tempered Sword, it's just going to take 3 double spins to get through. But they still got through it on a single cycle there. Into the final phase, or the third phase.
Ganon's kind of being a little lazy there, not a whole lot of teleports.
Kate's going to try to set up at least a double. That might be a little too high for a triple, but that should be a double. And that's silver number 4. So get your GGs in chat for Kate Sith. Gonna cross this bridge here. Even his record at 3-3. Put himself in good position for the tempered bracket with the finish at 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 49 seconds. He was finishing right about the same time that RJ found the big key, so RJ's on the climb here.
See if we can get Kate in for a chat after.
Yeah, we are joined in the booth by the winner of today's race, Kate Sith. GG's.
Yeah, GG's.
GG's, Kate.
It's one thing though. I did not plan to act in Mirror in Swamp Palace. That was
We
not on
definitely were
purpose.
going to ask about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the dying in Spike Cave was intentional.
Yeah, we figured that with the fairy that you were just going to brute force that check, which definitely made sense with the options that you had when you went up the mountain.
Yeah.
So on the whole, how did this seed feel to you? We know it was definitely a really jetty start.
Yeah, it was very jetty, and then all of a sudden it's choices amongst choices. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, Pendant Dungeons, pick your poison.
Yeah, there was actually pretty major divergence between you and RJ after you got Dark World access. He opted to go into the Village of Outcasts and down south, so he wound up with the mitts a good amount before you did. Did you have any thoughts when you wound up coming upon the Mitts after making your own path through village?
I was kind of, it was just kind of head on. I didn't really have a plan. I was just going to go somewhere, and then I just kind of, oh yeah, ice foul list.
Yeah, that definitely made sense.
Yeah, always be clearing crystal dungeons.
Yeah, it's a good rule for a reason.
Yeah. And I did have to admit, like the thought of having to do Hammer Blind and that kind of crossed our minds because of how early Dark World Access was. But that's not something that I would have been comfortable with on 4 Hearts No Males.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there were quite a few, choices in this seed where, discretion is the better part of valor. And it's something like that where, the fortunate part is that you actually had so many options that really was not even going to have to be something that you were forced into.
Yeah, that I just want that just go through and then because not taking that choice is faster than dying repeatedly.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, not dying always faster than that. Always faster.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah, we did have one question. We did see it on RJ's side. Was there any consideration given to reading Pedestal?
It wasn't. Wasn't. There was some consideration that.
Yeah, like it's not a thing where like you get the book up on the mountain and that's like, oh yeah, we're immediately reading Ped. But once things got down to, like, as you said at the outset, we're in pick a pendant territory, and you wound up in a kind of rough Vidi fight that you did a great job of clutching out. But RJ was obviously later to Meyer than you were, but he had read Pedestal, so he did everything he could before going to that Vidi fight.
Well,
I see that Sean says in chat that he hated the play, so fair enough, Sean.
RJ's just about to drop in on Ganon now.
Yes, I like how if you went full right, you would get a sword but no silvers. like if you did full right in DT, you would get your sword. You get a sword upgrade but no silvers. Silvers was on the left side.
That's right, yeah. So was half magic on the torch, so it was a little bit of a pick your poison. But both of you, the two of you, actually wound up doing the exact same route.
Yeah, hope left and then right.
Yep. Yeah. RJ down to half a heart here. Gonna break out the cape now.
I don't know if RJ actually has anything left in his bottles right now, even.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He did eschew using the cape early in the fight. So we did miss out on that spin, getting up into that position for the spins in phase 2. But he's still alive. Oh, well, must have
Ooh.
Oof.
Yeah, 180 collection rate. Yeah, that's considering how stacked the early game was. That's a collection rate. That shows how kind of open that seed was.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's very little in these various dungeons that we wound up not seeing. It was basically item on Helma, Pyramid Fairy, which was never happening, and Mimic Cave. And then the entirety of the GT basement, save for Tile Room, got cleared. So, yeah, we went from Ultra Jet being able to go in and beat Swamp Palace at like 15 minutes to 180 clear rate. It's rando. We love it. RJ in the precarious spot again, down to 1 heart. So, Kate, this puts you at 3-3, and depending on how things shake out, a possibility of getting into temper bracket. How has this tournament felt for you this time around?
It felt, considering it's my first time in the mentor, it felt pretty good. You know, I don't blame him for going for Torch Glitch, even though it is faster with the current equipment.
Yeah, when you're when you're down to 1 heart, you've already taken an unfortunate death. Just being safe and trying to make sure you can get out of here. Oh boy! All right, play it safe. Get the last one in. All right, get your GGs in chat for RJ Kinger.
Yeah.
Finishing with the official racetime.gg time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 6 seconds. And we're going to see if we can get RJ in to chat here as well.
So the fun thing now is, now that we finished week 6, we go into brackets, and the mentees no longer have the mentors over their shoulders. How does that how confident are you going forward, Kate?
I'm reasonable. I'm okay with going forward.
There's RJ into the chat. GG, RJ.
GG's.
Yeah, GG's. Good run, Asif.
Yeah. It was.
So RJ, this was we were talking with Kate for a little bit before you got in here. One of those seeds that it was very front loaded and offered a lot of options right off the bat. First off, like, what were you and Jetto thinking getting Dark World access so quickly?
Yeah, so he kind of sent me an unconventional route that I would have normally taken. So yeah, we did some we went dip Dark World early, jumped into Thieves Town, did all that stuff, checked Dark World stuff really earlier than I would have liked, because normally my normal routing is I would check all of South Shore and all that stuff, get that all taken care of first thing. But since we got all those early items first thing, he thought, well, let's just dip it really quick and see what we can get out of it. So, it worked out sort of, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it seemed to me it was just more of a hunt for a fire rod for us at the end of the game there. So, that was really a big fight for us in the match, I think.
The go mode rod hunt.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
At least it was fire rod and not ice rod. It was one of the things we were watching as we were going through. The ice rod came up a little bit earlier for everyone.
Yeah, and I know that I had skipped Hera Basement, and I was sitting here thinking like the whole time, I'm like, well, we're not getting this, and I had to go back and check, and that kind of burned me a little bit. But I mean, it's one of those checks that you had to go back. If you didn't, it's like it could have been there, it could have not have been, and unfortunately, it wasn't. I think it was just $20, but it was one of those checks where it was like, I'll orphan it for now. We'll go back because we had the whole rest of the mountain to check. So
And I actually had the blunder in Swamp Palace of accidentally mirroring after pushing the switch for the second trench.
Yeah. So it was an interesting seed up front. We seemed to get a lot of stuff early on, but then it kind of petered out like it normally does. So that's kind of the luck of the roll, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, it's always frustrating to get to kind of just before the end of the seed, and you're kind of just looking for that one item, and you're looking at your tracker and just like every check it sucks. It feels bad, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, the story of this seed early on was major divergence because the two of you took very different routes. RJ, you actually had MIT significantly earlier than Kate, so you were able to loop together the Dark Death Mountain checks on your first trip up the mountain, and it was really efficient. And even with the slight difference in MIT's pickup, it kind of evened out. And then for both of you, it came down to not only finding Ice Rod, but also finding Fire Rod. And in the end, like heading back up the mountain to try to clean up stuff versus diving into mire wound up proving to be the difference. But it was a extremely close race throughout. Was there anything in particular that like pointed you and Jetto back up the mountain for those like stray checks that had been left behind, as opposed to maybe going to mire?
Yeah, I mean, we had talked about going there, and he said, well, let's just clean these up because there's the last few checks. And I was kind of like listening to him on some of the stuff towards the end, because I was like, well, we could dip into a pendant and do that, or we could check these other things. And we chose to do the stragglers, I guess. So it's the risk you take by doing that, but we both kind of agreed and kind of just rolled with it. So
there's another thing that I realized that was kind of getting me kind of concerned on Goof Ups is forgetting about the vanilla big key in Turtle Rock.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, because he didn't get the big key before lava room. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had dipped into Turtle Rock the first time, and then just it completely blanked on me that I gotta watch for the big key.
Yeah. And I did the same thing. We were up there already on the mountain, and Jetto had asked me, hey, do you want to just go on the TR? And I was like, well, we don't have the fire rod. We're not really going to be able to get too far, but we got as far as we could there. It was a risk, it could have been. We could have got the fire rod in there for all you know. So it would have been really nasty if it was, but it wasn't. So it was a risk. We were already up there, so it was kind of like it's not really that much of a time waste, I guess. I mean, it is and it isn't. I don't know, but that's the play we did.
Yeah, this went from being a seed that just offered so much to being just try to pick the closest thing to density in a bunch of stray junk.
Yeah.
So you just do your best. Honestly, I think both teams here and you two as individuals did a really strong job trying to route this as efficiently as possible. And it just comes down to, a needle in a haystack, and you just hope you pick the right haystack in the end.
Yeah, that's sometimes the way it goes, unfortunately, you're right. But it was congratulations to you, Kate, for besting me. It was close. I was looking over when I got into Ganon's Tower, and I was like, right up the starting to do the climb, and I was like, oh, they just finished. Damn. But it was good.
I was kind of on the nervous side in doing the climb too.
Yeah. And it's that's what you don't know, because you just have to assume you're always behind, right? So even though I was looking at the time, I'm like, man, we're making good time. But then as soon as we were hunting more and more and more for this fire rod, I could see the time slipping away. So
yeah, that's just so. Yeah, and like time's always slipping away for each of the for each wrong check you do. And you don't know which checks are the wrong ones.
Yeah.
For me, my first Skull Wood dip was hoping the fire rod to here.
Yeah.
But at least what I did is front of Skull Wood get that chest, back of Skull Wood get that chest. What do you know? Both of the Skullwood items were in those two convenient chests.
Yeah. It's unfortunately sometimes you got to roll the dice a lot of times, and sometimes it's right and sometimes it's wrong. But I think our goal, our strategy was just try to go where the most density was, and then it got to a point where it was like density was gone. So it's just okay. Well, let's go check this. And then that's when you start thinking like, oh, that's where a seed goes bad. But
And I never did check Zora because I didn't have the money. I committed to that as that's going to be my last location.
Yeah. I don't remember what was there, but it wasn't anything of significance. If I recall.
Piece of heart.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, it's 216 items in the game. I'm lucky if I remember where 10 of them are. But it was it was a good run for sure. Like I said, the seed in the beginning was very dense, and we got a lot of stuff up front. And I remember telling Jetto, I was like, this could be either really good or really bad, but I'm probably guessing really bad. And sure enough, it was a hunt for 2 rods for a while for us.
It's like at least we know we were never going to do because not for a bug catching that.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I thought that was the go mode item. It wasn't.
Gauchu was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, I try to avoid Aga at all costs. It's just a complete waste of time, unless you need that Dark World access. It's what it is what it is.
Like it was amazing just how front loaded the seed was.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely go back and rewatch this. I definitely will say this run was the routing that we took in the beginning was definitely something that I wouldn't have probably done, because I would normally, like I said, do the whole Kakariko run, check all that South Shore, and then I probably would have done a dip into the Dark World. But Jetto was like, yeah, let's try this, and I was like, he explained it a little bit, and I was like, all right, I can get down with that. We're already right here. Let's just check it out and see what happens. And so I'd be interested to see where the divergence were and where the pros and cons were on that.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing about dipping kind of the early Dark World, you get a little bit more information. You get to find out, your 5, your rest of your crystals, your pendants. There's a lot. You open up so many more checks. because you get your Village Outcasts, you get your South Dark World there as well. So Mirror was fairly early, so it would be easy to kind of go back and forth between two while you're checking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as we mentioned with Kate earlier, RJ, obviously this is the end of Swiss play. Finished up at 2-4, which is still a solid showing. We're heading into playoffs here, no mentors. How are you feeling going into some playoff matches on your own?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird for me when I do these mentor races because, honestly, I don't know. I do lots of practice seeds, obviously, during the week and stuff, and I feel like when I don't have the mentor there, my brain's like less cluttered, and I can kind of just do my own thing. And sometimes I make really good decisions. Like it's a lot of like feels, versus maybe like what would be the logical thing, and I get lucky a lot of times, maybe. But going into it, I don't have any issues with it because I know where I would go if I'm doing it, I guess. But having the mentor there definitely helps, as they'll remind you about silly little things that you forgot about, like, oh, you have this item, you can do this, like maybe try this or do this instead, So that part helps, but I think fundamentally, I'm pretty sound. My record may not show that, but I mean, my opponents have been pretty good too. So, hats off to them. But yeah, I feel confident going in, and we'll see where it takes us, and kind of just learn from there. This whole thing has been a learning experience, so not a bad thing at all.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense, and I think pretty much anybody who's come through the mentor tournament can can understand. It is a challenge to play the game and make decisions and be talking to somebody else and try to weigh their perspective as well. But wish great luck to both of you in the playoffs. About to wrap things up. Any final thoughts from either you, RJ or Kate, about this seed or anything else before we sign off for the night?
No, nothing really.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is that my whole thing was just trying to find these two fire and ice rods for a while really hurt us, but I mean that's rando, But what do you do? But yeah, it was a very front loaded seed for sure, but it was a good one. And congratulations to you for your win.
Yeah.
All right, so that should pretty much do it for us for tonight. Josh, it was a distinct pleasure to get to come with you. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you for taking the lead, and it was great to have sit here and chat during this fantastic race.
Absolutely, and many thanks again to Whiskey Bill for handling the solo tracking and Lumaga for the restream. As you can see on the screen now, there are 2 more matches coming up tomorrow on the Go Mode Podcast Twitch channel. Wrapping up Swiss play. The first one at noon Eastern is a matchup between 2 people who are 5-0, G Green Cola and Algo. That should be an amazing match. And 7 p.m. Eastern, Extreme Rando will take on Jabera. And again, that will wrap up Swiss play, and starting next week, I believe it's playoffs. So there should be a ton of great matches between a lot of great players, and really excited to see how things go from here. So yeah, again, many thanks to the Go Mode Podcast for putting this on. Josh, if you want to have the final word and sign us off for tonight.
All right, yeah, no, great race, guys. Looking forward to hopefully seeing some of you guys in the brackets. Keep doing what you're doing. It looks like everyone's been progressing amazingly throughout the 6 weeks. And yeah, don't forget to give everyone a follow. RJ Kinger 83, Kate Sith 2, their Ventures, Gentleman, and Secretly a Silver. And then don't forget Whiskey Bill, myself, and Ari Stark. And everyone have a great night, and we'll see everyone tomorrow for a couple more races.